Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nerds with Friends. My name is Cody Leach, and as always, I'm joined by Christian Garcia.
Yo, so I was just looking at the screen. You got a lot of cool shit up there right now.
Oh yeah, I'm looking currently at our patrons because I'm pulling up all the people who were new patrons for last week. We had Nico Naples and my sister Megan.
Nice. One of one of my best friends growing up, Marco Castro Oslo, because he sent us a message on Instagram because he was pissed that I made fun of Puerto Ricans. But my question to him was, did I lie?
I don't remember you saying anything.
I don't remember. I don't know. I think it was something about their Spanish. I said a lot of shit.
Oh, so is that who Nico is?
No.
Because his email is M. Gabriel Castro.
Oh, it is. Never mind. Thank you. Keep sending us money.
Okay. Well, he already dropped out. So I'm just kidding. But thank you guys for supporting the show. We do appreciate it. Everyone can check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends. It's also available on our website, nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. A couple bucks a month could support the show, and there's some cool rewards on there, like your brother and Nico/Marco. They were on the $10 tier, so they actually get to suggest episodes for the show.
He's probably gonna tell us talk about all the amazing shit about Puerto Rico.
Yeah, we could. I mean, I guess we could nerd out about Puerto Rico.
You paid for it. You hear it.
Yeah. Your brother kind of made the suggestion of Gunpla, which is the Gundam building model hobby.
Fuck.
So
that's the anime.
Well, yeah, Gundam is an anime for sure. Started with Mobile Suit Gundam, and then my favorite one that I watched was Gundam Wing, which I think if you're going to start anywhere, start there.
I guess I'm going to have to watch it if we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, you should watch it. I also have an idea for an episode where I just give you a bunch of animes to watch.
It's all going to be hentai.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that too if you want. I know a couple titles. But all for later episodes. So again, check those out. We appreciate your support for our new patrons, Nico and Megan. So we appreciate you. But let's start the show with some nerdy confessions where we confess the things that make us nerds. What do you got?
Actually, the show that I was telling you earlier, Nerdy Confession. I just started watching Truth Seekers with Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. My favorite Brit duos. Although Simon Pegg's not that much in it. Like, it's mostly about Nick Frost.
Oh, gotcha.
So, like I was telling you, Cody, Nick Frost plays a Wi-Fi installer for companies and homes, but he's also like an amateur ghost hunter. And I wish it was a little bit scary. It's not, but it's mostly just funny. It's cool. I hope it continues well, because I feel like a lot of Brit shows, like, they'll do well season 1, season 2, and then season 3 they kind of always just lag or drop off. I don't know if they just figure out they didn't figure out where they wanted to go with it, but on third season they usually kind of drop off. But it's on Netflix. It's dope. Watch it.
Okay. And it's called Truth Seekers.
Truth Seekers.
My nerdy confession is actually somewhat related to our Patreon. So because your brother recommended a Gunpla episode, I was like, I better start doing some research, because it's been years, if not decades, since I've seen Gundam Wing. So I'm definitely behind on the story, but I'm like, he's specifically interested in the models. So I started like watching YouTube videos on how to how the model hobby is different from miniatures.
Well, because they're bigger, right?
They are bigger. There's different scales. So like the scale in miniatures is all done in millimeters. So you got like 28 millimeter figures, 75 millimeter, 32 millimeter. Like Warhammer is 32 mil.
Okay.
With Gunpla, it's like 144th scale. So I think they're like, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's supposed to be like, it's a fraction of like what a full size Gundam would be.
Oh, so instead of like really quarter scale or half scale, like what they do with sculptures.
Yeah.
It's what was it?
144th. I think that's like one of the more popular.
So to give you like the scale, the actual size of the robot?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I mean, I guess that's it. But there's also people saying that those scales are just arbitrary because it's based off of fictional things. So who knows? And there's different grades and stuff. So pretty interesting stuff. I went on a pretty deep dive. And one of the things, when we actually do an episode on it, we'll go more into it. But one of the things I thought was really interesting compared to miniature painting was how they use different like names for different for the same thing. So, for instance, when you're doing like Warhammer miniatures or like Age of Sigmar or any of these ones that come on, a big plastic sheet, or if you remember the Ninja Turtles
Oh, the ones
from
you bust out and
you bust out, right? It comes on a molded plastic. We call them a sprue in miniature painting, right? It's a sprue of plastic, and you pop, you cut them off and then shave them down or whatever. They called it. Now the word just popped out of my head. They call it something completely different.
And what is it in?
They call it rails. They call it rails, which, I mean, fine. It makes sense. It's just strange to me that it's the exact same thing, but they call it two different things. You think that, in plastic molded things, holder things, they would have one designated name.
And so it wasn't Warhammer?
Sprues
And then
rails. Yeah. Kind of interesting. And then there's other things too, like in miniature painting, whether it's a metal miniature, plastic, or resin, there's generally little chunks of whatever the material is hanging off that come from either the molding process or the printing process, right?
Yes.
So like, basically when you're making a plastic miniature, let's use plastic as an example, it's the most popular. You take these two molds and like smush them together, and that makes the sprue, which has a bunch of different pieces on it. But where that mold smashes together, there's a little plastic or resin or whatever that'll squeeze out from the side, and that gives you a mold line.
Okay.
Where, you can see like a seam.
I get it. You got to like shave them down.
Exactly. So normally, you take an X-Acto knife or like fine nail files and sandpaper work really well, right? And then another term for it, especially when it's in metal, like pewter and things like that, they call it flash. It's a piece of flash that hangs off of it. But in I think in Gunpla, it's called like nubbin or something like that, or nubs.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was pretty funny, but it's just so weird to me. I'm like, oh, that's flash that they're talking about. But yeah, it was kind of interesting to see some of those differences that they have in between the two hobbies, where it's very much the same. Like Gunpla is just opposable bigger minis, and it's generally specific to one.
See, if you get into this, you're gonna have to get new brushes, different paints.
I got an airbrush already, so I'm just gonna fucking airbrush that shit.
Because your tiny little paints for the minis, that's gonna go on like one little side armor of the.
I know, yeah. So that was one thing. So to prep for that episode, I'm going to buy a kit and make one. Because I don't know, it seems cool, and I liked Gundam back in the day.
How much are they?
I mean, they range. You can buy a cheapo starter one for like $20. So,
all right, maybe I'll do it too.
It's not too bad.
Mine's gonna be all fucking crooked and.
But I mean,
busted.
they go up to like hundreds of dollars depending on like the rarity and the quality. Much like Rick's Transformers and stuff, how there's different quality levels. Same thing with the Gundam models. There's like master grade, perfect grade, good grade.
Yeah,
good grade's actually the worst.
I'll get it. I'll get somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do. And then one other fun thing, that I learned about when I was doing my deep dive, my YouTube crawl for Gunpla, is first of all, there's not that many good channels on it, so opportunity for us.
There you go.
Totally do it.
Rick, start one.
Yeah, we have your brother start one.
Yeah,
you just get into it, because most of the people on there just either don't speak English very well. Not a bad thing, but if you're doing a show in English, it's a required skill, right?
Okay. What's the accent?
One guy was like Filipino, and one guy was like Russian.
Okay.
And they had some good information on there for sure. It was just they both talked really fast and in a heavy accent. It was like, excuse me, what? So who knows if rail's even the right term for it? Maybe you just made it up. I don't know.
Whatever. These guys won't know the difference.
But also the other thing I found out is panel lining is a big deal with Gunpla, which is like, I don't know if we have a robot close by. It's fine.
Got all these Transformers over here, but I'm not touching them.
Yeah, exactly. But they have panels, right? So you see like little indentation lines on them. Like if you look at the big dude's arm right there, his blaster cannon. See how there's all those little panels?
Yep.
So in a gunpla, you would generally take this stuff that it's like I think it's an enamel based paint with a little brush on it, and you just dab it in, and it like flows into the seams of it and darkens it.
Okay.
So it really makes them pop and gives you good contrast between all the panels and stuff. So
I'm not painting mine. I'm just saying that right now.
yeah, that's the one thing you don't have to do really. Is most of them come like each of those rails comes in a different color depending on what part it's for. Okay. So you can snap it together and it will still come out looking. And there's some decals and stickers and stuff that you can do, but you don't really have to paint it. I'm going to because I'm a tryhard. But yeah, so look forward to that coming soon. Maybe not next week because I think we're going to do WandaVision recap with Fabienne again. And because the series should be over by then.
Yeah, you guys listening right now, you're like, oh, you guys are fucking behind.
Yeah.
We're not.
We recorded a week earlier. Sorry. And it comes out on a Friday. Disney, when they do stuff like that, they're really hard on content creators like us because that makes us try to work on the weekend, and I don't want to do that.
Dude, people I always tweet out don't fucking do spoilers on Friday mornings.
Oh yeah, how's that work?
I mean, I watch it at 6 o'clock in the morning, so I wake up early just to watch it because I'm not staying up till midnight to watch it. And dude, people just do not give a fuck. They just start posting stuff right away. Even
like official Marvel things will post pictures of like Agatha in full like witch garb. It's like, god damn, bro.
But I guess they feel like, hey, if you're following us, then you're fucking
maybe.
I don't know, like you definitely watched it earlier.
I don't know. I like a little grace period because I feel like it's one of those things where even on stuff that I like, there's been occasions where I've fallen off for a week or something just because life happens or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the worst is when something's ruined like that.
I wait till Monday to tweet anything about it. I'm like, I'll wait till actually this weekend I did Sunday, but just because a bunch of people I follow were asking questions, like, all right, I might have answers to what I think you guys are asking. So
yeah, I think it's one of those things where I try not to post anything like super major. I'll like for the show on our Instagram at Nerds with Friends or at Nerds with Friend no S. I'll post like, hey, did you guys see the Marvel episode? What did you think? And then I'll post a generic picture from like earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And that way, people can like leave comments and stuff, but those comments won't show up right away.
Yeah.
If you're scrolling through Instagram, you're not going to see a big
spoiler. It's a very smart way of doing it.
Yeah, nice. I think about you guys when I'm doing all those Instagram posts. Did you see my one for last week's episode for The Stand?
No.
So it was Randall Flagg, and he has his signature smiley face button.
Oh yes, I did see
I put our logo on the smiley face button. I thought that was pretty clever because there wasn't really good pictures of like all of them together kind of thing. So it is what it is. All right. So new idea for kind of an episode topic this week. And we'll take a break in just a second before we really get into it. But I think if this works out well, I think we could do a couple episodes like this. So we're known for having pretty revolutionary ideas on the show.
We're the best.
I think we've come up with a lot of like great ideas of either movie plots, casting ideas, the ideas for a movie in general, and some of them have come to fruition like almost immediately. Still holding out for Namor in Black Panther 2. But, Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Doesn't fit quite as well. But who knows? I think I told you this before. Still kind of works because now he could be looking to expand Atlantis and try to take over Wakanda now that there's no king. And that could be a conflict for that movie. But we'll see. Who knows? That's not what we're here to talk about. I think the two of us, if we put our brains together, we can fix a lot of movies that have had maybe less than stellar, reception amongst fans.
We're going to fix this shit right now.
We're going to fix some of the movies. And these aren't it's not that I don't necessarily like some of these movies. But they're pretty widely panned amongst fans and stuff. So if you guys think that this is a good idea and you like it, please let us know in the comments on any of the social medias or on the YouTube video. And if you have ideas for movies for us to fix, let us know. This week we're going to be doing Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come right back, and we're going to fix that fucking movie. We'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Yes.
Ready to fix some Star Wars there?
I'm going to start by asking you a question.
Okay.
How do you feel about Luke when he had the lightsaber above Kylo Ren?
Okay.
Because I personally, a lot of people hated that shit. You know, Seamus, good friend of ours, said he would never do that. But would he? Like, we don't know everything that happened in between young, Luke and
Return of the Jedi Luke and Force Awakens.
He could have seen a lot of fucking shit. Like, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. I don't think I'm gonna be the same fucking person what was like 30 years after. Like,
I've been the same my entire life.
Probably. He was born with that beard.
He's born with it. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
I don't personally feel that necessarily ruined the movie. I think if they had taken a little bit more time to see, like, why he had gone that way, maybe in parts of the teachings he would sense a little bit, and then at the bed when he was, reading his thoughts, he would have thought about it, like, or seen a little bit more. But I don't personally, I know in a lot of people that's like their go-to, hated it. Like, that's what fucking shat on the movie. So, I don't think it was that, I don't think it was out of the realm of Luke doing it. Because if you go back and look at Luke's history, what always gets him is doubt. He doubts himself. He doubts he can help his dad. He doubts he can.
He doesn't think he's strong enough. He doesn't think he's powerful enough.
It's a constant theme with Luke that he has doubt, and like for him to doubt his teachings with his student, I think kind of fits. It's just the movie didn't do a good job of connecting it. I'm not anti that.
Sure, I think so. Kind of the way I broke down my notes for the movie is like there's different problems that people have with the movie. And we'll try to fix those problems in any way we can. So I think Luke Skywalker and how he's portrayed was a big problem for a lot of people. And you're right. A big part of it is he's trying to kill a young child in his sleep.
But the thing is, like, he caught himself.
He didn't, like, he even says it, because I just rewatched it before this episode.
Because
he said, in a moment, I sensed so much darkness, I reacted, turned on the lightsaber, but then he caught himself. He's like, what am I doing? Which... Like, that's what you want a good person to do. Like, he's not like...
About to kill your nephew.
He's not like, I tried to kill him, but I fucking missed. And then when I went in the second time, I'm like, what am I doing? And it's like, no, he didn't even try to kill him. He hit the lightsaber button as like a reaction. And, you see any of these Jedi, when they have like interactions with the dark side, they have this like momentary like, oh my God, what? It's a really jarring experience. And so I could see him doing that.
I challenge any of you parents listening... Isn't there a time when you thought, like, maybe I ought to kill this little fucking bastard? Yeah. Piss me off so much.
I can just put the fucking pillow right over him.
I mean, you don't do it.
You don't do it, but you think about it.
You thought about it.
Yeah. A couple other problems with...
Well, actually, before we leave that scene, I thought it was kind of cool how Kylo, like, we see Kylo Ren's perspective where Luke looks fucking insane with, like, his eyes all crazy.
Right, his super dyed beard.
Yeah, and then we look at it from Luke's perspective where, like, yeah, he turned it on, but the immediate regret that he even thought about it.
The shame that he felt was, like, instant.
Yeah, and, Kyle, that's not how Kylo read it, and, obviously it was different. But
it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, like, that was kind of cool, but I don't know, it wasn't enough for audience.
Right. A couple other problems with Luke, right? I did not like how he tossed the lightsaber at the beginning. Like, I get it. I get it that, like, these Star Wars movies, basically, like, they're trying to do the Marvel thing where it's a fucking joke a minute.
Yeah.
And that's never what Star Wars was, ever. It never was that. And for those people who think that it was, watch the original movies again, or even the prequels. Prequels had little lighthearted moments where, Qui-Gon's giving Obi-Wan a hard time, and, Obi-Wan's giving Anakin a hard time. But it's never like, fucking Quip City, Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did like the tickling part.
Feel it. That part was fine though. Like, so that there's parts of it where it makes sense. The tickling thing, like you feel the Force, that harkens back to Yoda playing around with R2D2.
Yeah.
That was a funny moment. But when shit got real, Yoda turned serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what that handing him the lightsaber was. Now, if he dropped it or something and walked away, that's different than tossing it over your shoulder like you don't give a shit. It's two different feelings.
And particularly, it was his, right?
It was his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Not only his lightsaber, but Anakin's lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's the one that chopped his arm off in Empire Strike Back. He also gets like fucking pwned by Rey, which there's problems with Rey, which we'll address in a little bit. But she instantly beats this Jedi Master with basically a faux lightsaber battle, even though it sticks.
Wait, which I don't remember that part.
Yeah, it's in the rain, and she's like, she's like upset at him, and she starts hitting him with with her bow staff thing that she has, and he has a stick, and you can see the kind of lightsaber, and then she knocks him back, and he catches himself with the Force, and then lets himself down. That was
Oh, I need to rewatch that part.
Yeah, but that kind of goes back to Rey's, and I hate to say this, but I think Seamus is right about Rey.
Was it
that she's a Mary Sue?
It's
very tough.
I think they went too much back and forth. I think when they originally started what they wanted to do and what they ended up doing, I don't think was the same. I think it changed as they went on. I think because of how badly people reacted to the second one. I don't know. Maybe there was supposed to be more training in this one, but then they decided, we'll just do it in the third one off screen or something. I don't know. But I mean, she was a little...
And he also, I think another problem that a lot of people have with this one is why Luke wants the Jedi to end. And, he talks about how, like, the Jedi are they're a bunch of hypocrites, and they want, they were just as corrupt as the Sith and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's like not 100% true, at least not from his perspective.
Yeah.
Because he didn't know a whole lot of Jedi. The Jedi that he did know were straight up some of the best people out there.
Yeah.
Like Obi-Wan and Yoda. So a couple things that I think they could fix Luke Skywalker in this movie is if they had rewritten Luke where he wants the Jedi to end because he's found a new path. And that new path is a gray Jedi.
That would have been, and honestly, I thought that's what they were gonna go with the gray, and it made sense. Like not both, like there has to be something in the middle that works,
right?
And
here's kind of my like reasoning behind it. So Luke becomes a gray Jedi because his family and his personal relationships mean too much to him, right? Jedis can't have families,
yes,
right? Sith also can't have families, just mainly because they're so evil.
Just kill each other. So.
But both the factions focus on little attachment, right? With Sith, you have the two. You have the master and apprentice, and the apprentice's goal is to destroy the master, right? So it doesn't allow for interpersonal relationships. And same thing with the Jedi. The Jedi, you can't have family because that love for the family or friends, can interrupt with the Force or whatever. So Luke finds a path between the two and becomes a gray, becoming something more than a Jedi, right? Because he loves his sister Leia, who he then helps train, right? He loves, Han and Chewie and, Obi-Wan Kenobi and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe he had another relationship. In the books, he famously did.
Yeah.
And had kids and stuff. So I think that they should have made him a gray, and part of his school that he had, the school for Jedi Padawans, was teaching the way of the gray.
So and I was trying to find the traits, but I forgot what they were. Like with passion, with the dark side, like passion comes something. Fuck, I don't remember what they were. But yeah, I mean, he could have taught his students it's not one way isn't bad, and the other way is kind of bad. But they both have some.
Well,
good...
there's a balance that you need to find. You need to find a balance between like passion and tranquility, right? You need to be able to care about something strongly when the situation calls for it, and because of that, you have to flirt with the light and dark side of the Force, right? So I think it would be cool if at some point, in this movie, when Ghost Yoda comes up, he actually calls lightning down to destroy the tree with the Jedi text in it. I think it would have been cool if, as a big reveal for Luke, if he used Force lightning.
Yeah, to do it,
right? And that's part of the abilities that you gain by becoming a gray Jedi.
It also kind of makes sense why Kylo would have turned, because if he's teaching both the dark side and the light side, and then he decided
Kylo went too far.
Yeah, he went too far one way, and that's Luke who's like, oh shit, like I got to stop this before it goes. Which would also explain him pulling out the lightsaber, because that's some dark side shit. And he's like, oh, I got to end this before it goes away.
Because Luke too is flirting with the dark side,
and it would have made sense because dark side, what do? Their apprentices kill their masters. He's like, oh, I got scared that this dude was gonna fucking kill me. Maybe snuff him out.
Not only that, but if he had become a gray Jedi, he has that within him, that passionate side, which is why he was always tempted by the Emperor in Return of the Jedi. When you see him like really like beating down on Vader, that's him like succumbing to some of those feelings. So and then he feels that he failed Kylo by letting him go too far into the dark side, and that's why he's afraid to train Rey, because she when she's doing the
she went so quick.
She went quick to the dark pit, the butthole thing that shows the dark side.
And what's darker than a butthole? I mean, it's very no light.
The inside of a butthole.
Yeah, nothing goes in there.
And so that's why he's afraid to train Rey, because she has no real family to balance her out. You know what I mean? Because she's got no parents that she knows of. She grew up by herself. And that's why he's afraid. So now what we've done by just changing that one thing about Luke Skywalker, you've given a reason why he doesn't want to train Rey. You've given like a new development in his character rather than just, he's just by himself now. And then you've also you've changed the Star Wars universe. You've introduced something officially new, like this gray Jedi thing. That would have been a really cool story point. And it's like, it's a new path for Star Wars. Opens up a lot of possibilities, right? Which also, then, if we look forward a little bit into Rise of Skywalker, it sets a precedent for Rey using Force lightning.
Yeah, when she fucking shot down the...
Also sets a precedent for Kylo coming back to the good side.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't come back to the good side, he came back to the middle.
Yeah, somewhere halfway. Yeah. I agree.
Right? And I think, speaking of Rey, I think, part of her, a lot of people have problems with the fact that she never loses in anything. She's very powerful without having any training, really. And she doesn't really struggle, right? So, and in this movie...
she struggled with trying to get Luke to teach her.
Yeah, but then she finds out that she can use the Force better than Luke can without him teaching her anything. Right?
I guess, yeah.
So like at the end, so like during the movie with her like training with Luke, she instantly goes to the dark side. He's like, oh my God, I've never seen anyone go that fast. And then, she does some lightsaber work by herself. He doesn't really train her on anything, but then when she comes back to save the guys at I forget what that planet was with the salt. I don't remember. Remember when they're sneaking out of the caves and stuff, and there's a cave in, and they can't get out because they're following those little foxes.
Yeah.
She instantly gets all those fucking rocks and like levitates them out. When Luke had been training with Yoda for weeks, if not months, and he was having trouble with one rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But she's hella strong.
I know, because she doesn't have any character flaws. I think what would have been cool, and I know we're talking about Last Jedi, but to set up Rey's character, I think would have had to obviously start in Force Awakens. I think by being abandoned alone on Jakku, where we meet her for the first time, she wouldn't be this person who instantly makes friends and instantly...
She didn't talk to fucking anyone on that planet.
Right, exactly. And she constantly got shit on by the guy handing out the portions, Simon Pegg, right? So I think it would have been cool if she had a hard time trusting people and a hard time making new friends.
Just relying on herself like she always did.
Yeah, just relying on herself. And part of being a gray Jedi is, or a Jedi in general, is to help rely on others and stuff, right? So I think that would have been a cool fix for her character which could, if you had started that in Force Awakens and gone through Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
Because at the end of Rise of Skywalker, what happens? She depends on Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
She finally opens herself up for trust completely to someone who was her enemy.
Yeah.
That's like the most, that's like the biggest form of trust. Someone who you were literal enemy with, you trust them now and, with your life kind of thing.
Now, I want to talk about Finn and
Yeah.
how fucking nasty
Oh my God.
they did my boy Finn. Like, they could have, and it would have been such a great storyline to have a former stormtrooper become eventually a Jedi. Like, that would have been great. Like, he picked up the lightsaber and he actually sliced Kylo Ren. So it's like, at that point, we know, all right, there's something special about this dude. But they just completely, and for whatever, I don't know why, they just dropped the ball with him.
It's because he's black.
Probably, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe.
Disney does not care for black people.
It's well known.
You've heard it. You heard it here first.
No, it's like, it would have been so fucking cool. Like, and then honestly, though, that's what I thought they were going to do. And I was like, that's fucking epic. Like, that's so awesome. Like, cool. Like, not only do we have, like, Rey, but also, Finn as a Jedi.
Right.
And then, I almost would have preferred that he had died as a hero on that salt planet. If they weren't going to follow him through, like, at least give him a hero's exit, But instead he got robbed of his, his death.
Well, I think a big thing with him is, like, his character literally only exists to ask about where Rey is.
Yeah.
Right? And also to do those fucking million jokes a minute. Like,
Yeah.
it's
or hit up that casino planet for what?
Dude, the fucking casino planet. Cut that shit out of the movie. Literally nothing happens there. Like,
Although I did really like Benicio del Toro's character.
I like Benicio del Toro's character, but remember, that character does zero. It gets
That's
them
true.
It gets them into the Imperial ship, sure, but then immediately betrays them.
I would have. The reason why I
And
liked
then they didn't do their objective on the Imperial ship. So why did they need to be there? Why did they
I liked him because he was actually true neutral.
He was.
He was like, hey, I'll go to bed with anyone as long as
there is literally nothing wrong with his character. And I think he even brings up a cool point where, like, when they're on, which I had forgotten about this, but when he saves them from the stupid alien horses that they're riding on, right? He pulls up in a ship that he has stolen, and they find out that he stole it from, like, an arms dealer. And he pulls up a hologram of, oh, he's an arms dealer, and it's a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
And he's like selling weapons to the bad guys. And then he hits another button, and then an X-Wing pops up. He's like, and the good guys.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows that middle line. It shows that he's a neutral guy, too. That there is no good and bad. There's just surviving.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if they had done more, and they introduced this cool character, and then they don't bring him back at all.
Yeah, he never comes back.
Even if it would have been kind of cool, like, they just would have been copying what they did with Han Solo. Like, eventually he goes to, he's like, all right, like, I can kind of play in the middle, but it's better. Might as well help the good guys, like, try to win. And then you could have kept him on, like, but they introduced this cool character and then just dropped him.
They don't do anything with it. And then, nothing happens on that planet of note, really, aside from meeting him. And even that doesn't really do anything for the story. You get the Broom Kid, which was a cool idea. The little kid who's like a slave kid who then, looks up at the stars at the end with the broom and it looks like a lightsaber. You're like, oh, cool. Nothing ever happens with him either. And I think a lot of that might come from the fact that Disney and Lucasfilm decided to kind of pretend like that movie didn't happen.
Yeah, with the third one.
Which is unfortunate. Like, if you're going to have these different directors have their own artistic vision of it, you at least got to roll with the one that came before it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or at least, like, Marvel, like, all right, we have a game plan for these movies. We roughly have an idea, but as long as they each connect, it makes sense.
Hit these main story points, and, like, you have to start here where that movie ended and end here where this movie is going to begin.
Yeah.
Whatever you do in the middle.
It's like, as long as you hit these beats, that's fine. Everything else in the middle, that's all you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And I mean, obviously it works for Marvel, which is the same company. So I don't understand why this is happening. But yeah, so Finn sucks as a character, which
nothing to do with the actor.
John Boyega does a great job. And he's even spoken out about how, like he feels like his character was
for sure.
fucking thrown away.
I just hope, like, don't say too much. I do want to see you in more movies. I don't want to see
Yeah,
you,
exactly. Don't pull a Gina Carano.
Yeah, say your piece, but make sure you're still.
You know who really's behind Marvel and Disney? The Jews. Oh fuck! There he goes.
Now he's gone.
There he goes. God damn it. No, but I think that the way to fix Finn is
make him a fucking Jedi. They should have just fucking gone full with it.
not only that, but make him a fucking stormtrooper. Remember, like, so he came from being a stormtrooper, and yes, he didn't want to slaughter that whole village full of innocent people.
Yeah.
But you've got to assume that he's had some sort of combat training.
Yes.
And that he is somewhat useful with a blaster.
Yes.
And that maybe growing up in the Empire has left him with some harsh edges. You
There's
know what I mean?
tiny book. It's not like a full-on novel of Finn pre the movie, and he's part of an elite group, which is why doesn't suck at like shooting. And they also trained. He was trained with the guy with the
baton thing.
The baton thing. They were actually in the same troop.
Right.
And that's why, he's this traitor, because there's a history of them, like, being together and stuff.
Right.
So, Finn was always the best in the groups, and, like, he's really pissed off that, the highest ranking one eventually flipped. But, like, maybe instead of
doing a side book that no one ever reads.
Yeah, they should have done it in the movie.
And I think the way they could have done that is there could have been moments where, like, they're say they're, like, knocking out stormtroopers or whatever, and he fucking blasts them on the ground. Like, that's hardcore, you know? He just murdered those guys, even though he didn't have to. Like, have some of those harsh edges in there and have him have to unlearn some of the things, some of the totalitarian techniques that the Empire has taught him, And then, tagged onto him is Rose, who, she
got kind of bullied out of the movie.
Dude, yeah, she had nothing to do with the third movie, really. She was in the background scene one time. But I liked her character for the most part. But I didn't like
the love. It didn't make sense.
The forced love story, like, didn't make any sense. You don't have to have two characters fall in love all the time. And then I didn't like how she actually went in and, like, saved Finn.
He didn't ask for that.
He didn't ask for that. And also, thank God, like, that got fucked up on its own, because otherwise you would have murdered all of those people. You know what I mean? Thank God they had escaped already.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, she was just shoehorned in there. The love story, I mean, was shoehorned in there. And it just didn't have any place in that movie.
Nah.
Also, fucking Finn just can't stop talking about Rey, so that wouldn't have gone very far anyway.
And that's another thing. They should have made that, like, a love triangle would have been fucking pretty cool. Like,
it would have been interesting, yeah.
Like, Rey can't decide, like, between Kylo and Finn. Like, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, she obviously doesn't give a shit about Finn.
Never ask where he is.
Yeah. It's like, who's that guy? What's his name? Frank? Is it Frank?
I think. Fan
with a PH, maybe?
Fawn?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so they needed to do something with Finn. I think in the first movie, it was interesting. He was an interesting character. It was cool to see, like, a stormtrooper, and with the helmet off, and that they're real people, and this is kind of where they come from. But they never touched on that ever again.
Mm-mm.
And then he ultimately has a showdown with Captain Phasma again, his old, like, ruthless commander. It would have been cool if for the first two movies, he had been kind of depicted as this, like, ruthless guy because he was a former stormtrooper who didn't want to murder innocents, but wasn't opposed to, like, beating the shit out of some guy if he had to. He had anger issues, kind of thing. And then at the end, when he fights Captain Phasma for a final showdown, you show what he has learned, and he, instead of killing her, he spares her.
Yeah.
And then she does something that gets her killed, kind of thing. Or causes her own downfall.
Or continued that character onto another movie because she had a cool fucking outfit.
Or that too, yeah, and a great actress too. What's her face? Brienne of Tarth. So I feel like his character was wasted. They didn't do anything with him, but having that kind of gritty edge to him would have been cool. It would have been almost like a Han Solo-esque character, Okay, Leia in space. Space Leia.
So many people hate it. I didn't hate it as much.
So one of the things with Star Wars movies is when I'm in the theater, it's 100% love. I can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the spectacle of it. I'm 100% like, oh my God, I love everything. When I get out, that's when I start thinking about things. I'm like, that was kind of fucking weird. I don't. Where's
She
Finn going?
made a force field around her.
That scene in the theater, I was like, what the fuck? I literally said it.
She used the force to keep all her eyes, her air, her organs from coming out.
Yeah.
Although she was knocked out.
And fly.
And then she flew.
Like a fucking space witch.
Yeah, well, there's no gravity in space. She doesn't even have to use much force.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done... The idea that they wanted to do, that I see, is they wanted to show her using the force and for the first time, because that's the first time we see her use the force in full in the whole series. She's always had these feelings and stuff from dating back to Return of the Jedi, like, no, I think he's okay. He's over there. She can sense things. We've never seen her push things, and that's what they wanted to do.
But her and Luke trained after.
Right. We don't find that out till the next movie, though, right? So this is supposed to be the big reveal of that. And instead of looking cool, it looks like she's a fucking space witch. And so I think what they could have done is they have the giant, the TIE fighters shoot in the bridge, and the bridge explodes and blasts everywhere. She could have just had like a Mrs. Fantastic.
Oh, and just held it
bubble.
together.
Yeah, or pulled it in or something that didn't look goofy as shit, and had her maybe save one other person other than herself. Yeah, she only saved herself. Admiral Akbar died in that explosion. So how cool would it have been if the thing blows up and everyone's like, no, Leia, and then the smoke clears and it's her like holding a force field bubble.
Although we haven't seen any Jedi do that, but
right. Well,
but also we haven't seen Jedis fly through space. So.
Or holding the explosion of the missile together or something like that.
Actually, that would have been better, like before impact, maybe like stopping it.
You see the missile go in there and start to explode, and then you see the explosion stop.
Yeah.
And then she's just like this and blows it out there, and that exertion tires her out.
I like that better.
Right? Something a little bit more.
I like that better than the force bubble. Like catching it outside and then just kind of like...
Yeah. I think it should come into the bridge and start to explode, and that's where she catches it. And so, the force field, they cover up the window with like a piece of metal or something while she's holding it or whatever. She throws it back out. Something cool, not weird and gross. I don't know. It looks so gross, covered in ice and stuff. Like the CG was fine. That was the only part in the movie where I was like, what the fuck is that? I think a big one that a lot of people have a problem with is Admiral Holdo. Holdo. What's her name? What's the actress's name?
From Jurassic Park?
Laura Dern. From Jurassic Park. And so, why do you think people have a problem with Captain Holdo?
Because she shat on what's his name?
On Poe Dameron?
A lot. I don't know.
I mean, I think that's a big part of it, but I think also when I look at the problems with her is that she comes in to this situation, right, into the Rebel fleet slowly running away from the Empire.
Running out of gas.
And she comes in when Leia's incapacitated, and she starts taking charge, and we don't know her, so we don't, we've heard stories of her like, oh, is she the one from this? Like, oh yeah, that's her. I was like, oh wow, not what I expected or whatever. So you're hearing these whispers of who she is, but we're supposed to instantly kind of care about who this character is, and then she takes Poe Dameron, who is a hero of the Republic.
Yeah. Dope ass pilot.
Took down the Dreadnought in the opening scene, the big giant thing with the space lasers, and almost single-handedly. And she immediately starts demeaning him and like talking down to him and just like having these like personal attacks on him. like she's like, I've met a bunch of, trigger happy flyboys like you, and I fucking don't like it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, lady, you just met this guy. He's one of your subordinates. That's not how hierarchy works.
Yeah. Also, fucking took down that big ass ship by himself.
Yeah. Yeah, that big ass ship that I just destroyed. Like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Jesus. So, and then the biggest problem I had with her was that she kept her secret plan a secret from all of her.
You mean ramming the?
No, not that. The Holdo maneuver, they ended up calling it. No, the plan where they're in this slow speed chase, and then they load up all the transports that they have on the big capital ship, and they're going to like send them down onto the planet while she rams the thing. Mm-hmm. So she never like posed like, "What are we doing?" She's like, "Just have faith. We'll just keep going." And he's like, "What do you mean we just keep going? We're like running out of gas. The Empire's chasing us, or the First Order's chasing us." And she's like, "Don't worry about it. It's for me to worry about, and you to just fuck off about." And so in the end, that causes Poe to do a mutiny, where he takes over the ship and takes command from her, because he's like, she's gonna get us all killed because she's gonna send these transports out. And they're just going to get picked off by these giant Star Destroyers chasing us. Like, she doesn't tell her plan at all. And then when the plan is finally revealed at the end, she's like, gives a little like, "Oh, I did know what I was talking about, didn't I?" I was like, "Why didn't you tell that to anybody?" Why?
She didn't want to reveal the big surprise, man. She wanted everyone to be like, "Oh, she is smart." You
know? So for a movie that works, because we're like, "Oh, how are they going to get out of this? Oh, the surprise, they're going down here." For like for a military command, that does not work. There's no surprises in military command.
So how are we gonna get out of this? Oh, you just wait.
Just wait. Just keep going. But they're gonna kill us in just a second. Just wait. I have a surprise.
I don't know. They might not.
Might not. We'll see. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And
she had cool hair though.
She did have cool hair, cool outfit, and it's not that the character was a bad character. It was just like the way they wrote her into the story was stupid. I like the Holdo maneuver. I like that she takes, we think that she's like this, selfish, self-important like commander, doesn't know anything about military. And then she actually takes one for the team and like allows them room to escape, kind of thing. Right. So, I like that she had that end.
So your favorite part of her is that she dies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. But no, I like when a commanding officer and maybe the character that we're set up to like better are at ends with each other.
Yeah.
That's happened in a lot of movies and stuff, where you have like this war grizzled admiral or captain or whatever, and the hot shot lieutenant who is they're butting heads because one knows the reality of things and one has this idyllic view of what can happen. I like that dynamic.
Yeah.
It was just so dumb that this whole time she's like, "Don't worry about it. You just chill out there. I'll tell you what to do." And like nothing ever happens. Then Leia comes back and kind of like, "Poe, this is what we're doing." It's like, well, if she had said that, he would have been like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll hang out and do whatever you say."
Yeah.
Instead, you sow this distrust in your soldiers. But I will say, and who knows the timing of it, because Carrie Fisher unfortunately passed away shortly after this movie was done or during the movie's filming. They should have let Carrie Fisher do the Holdo maneuver.
Yeah.
And it should have been the Leia maneuver or whatever.
We talked about that a lot, like after watching. It's like it should have been.
It should have been her.
She would have had a heroic, out.
Right, and that would have maybe like driven Luke into returning to the rebellion, because now his sister was gone, and that like not only flared some anger up in him, but showed that they have no one left. Han's gone, Leia's gone.
Also, if he was a Grey, it would have been okay for him to be pissed off, and it probably would have helped him.
Exactly. So, that I feel like was a missed opportunity. Why introduce this new character? And also, the way they could have done that, going back to our missile idea, where she captures the photon torpedo or whatever and pushes it out, then she's not incapacitated for half the movie.
Yeah.
And now she can do the everything that Admiral Holdo did. There's literally no need for a new character there.
So you're saying she could have been cut out?
She could have been cut out. Yeah, we saw Leia and Poe have kind of a rift at the beginning where he disobeys a direct order by continuing the Dreadnought attack, which still was successful. But then she's mad at him, and then it would have been they could have continued that relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But again, that's a hard one to really judge them harshly on because who knows where Carrie Fisher was and her ultimate passing away. So, but I think it would have been a much better movie without Holdo, where Leia just did all of that and she went out like a fucking hero for the rebellion, right? Okay, last thing I think we should talk about is the low speed chase. the O.J. Simpson chase through space.
The Bronco in space?
The white Bronco. The Empire's chasing the white Bronco through space. So fuel has never really come up in the Star Wars universe.
They never really talk about it.
Is it gasoline? Is it dilithium crystals like Star Trek? Like,
I don't know.
We don't know what it is.
Doesn't matter.
But now it plays a part.
Yeah.
Someone didn't gas up the car before they went out.
They were in a rush.
And a big part of it is that the Empire can now track them through light speed, right? Which has never been done before, but that's okay because it's a new thing.
It could be new technology.
Yeah, new technology. It would have been cool if maybe Finn had said they were working on it. When I was there, I didn't think it was fully operational yet, but I knew they were working on it. A little tie back to, he was a stormtrooper, right? Okay. That doesn't happen. I think Rose actually comes up, she actually says, yeah, that was a theoretical technology. I can't believe they've actually done it. It's like, why didn't Finn just say that? Because he's a stormtrooper, but that's whatever. So the setup is they make a jump to light speed, and then immediately the First Order shows up right behind them. And then they're like, oh no, they tracked us through light speed. And they're like, well, we only have enough juice for one more jump. Like, okay, cool. So that the stakes are set. And then they just slowly cruise through space forever. And while they're cruising through space, other ships are falling off, running out of fuel, and they're just drifting. And for some reason, they left like one dude in one of them, and he was like, "It's been an honor, Admiral Holdo," and they blow him up. Why did he stay on that ship first? That's a little thing.
They should have just taken the gas from that one and refilled it on the other ones.
Why didn't he? So he like.
Well, he could have sacrificed himself.
Well, yeah, that's also true. They could have done that Holdo maneuver multiple times with all these empty ships. But he evacuated the ship, and then he stayed on it. It was their medical frigate or something like that. Why didn't he just evacuate with the ship? You tell me it doesn't have autopilot? That's like, you don't even have to have autopilot. You put a brick on the gas pedal.
The captain goes down with the ship, man.
Why, though?
I don't know. It's fucking nautical shit.
Fucking stupid. And then also, I thought these ships all had enough juice for one more light speed jump.
Apparently not that guy.
So why not? Well, there was multiple ships that happened to, too. Like, they started out as like a fleet of, call it 5 or 6 ships. And they gradually all ran out of juice and, like, fell off the end of the caravan until there's just the big capital ship left. So why couldn't they all go into different directions as, like, a ditch effort?
Because that makes sense.
That was fucking stupid.
That's actually a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, they all could have just jumped different places. Oh, shit, which one do we follow?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, even if the Empire did follow them all, that I think they said that the tracker's only on the one big main ship. And so it's like they could have had a 1 in 12 chance of getting away, but whatever.
Just put us in the writing room.
I know.
Fix this shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think those are all pretty good ideas. What about, last thing we'll talk about real quick, the final battle with Luke and Kylo. Did you like that it was a force projection?
It didn't bother me that it was a force projection.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been actually kind of cool, though, to have them really go at it. And I thought it would have been kind of cool that, like, maybe Kylo notices, like, oh, shit, I'm not as strong as I think I am.
Right.
And it would have showed that Luke was still, even though old, like, was still fucking badass.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I mean, to get him on that planet, how to make it make sense, like it would have been difficult. But I'm not anti the projection.
It was definitely an interesting way of doing it. Like I liked how first of all, I didn't like that he dyed his beard and everything. Like that was
It was projection, man. That's what his astro.
That's what he thinks of
Yeah,
himself.
that's what
He's
he
like,
thinks.
oh, look how cool and jet black my beard is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, I thought was a kind of interesting choice, but I didn't mind it so much. I feel like we were kind of cheated out of seeing like the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker that we always knew he was going to be.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if he was there in person and he, like, what if he mopped the floor with Kylo Ren, and then if you still wanted to write him out of the show, still wanted him to die in some way, he could have done it, like heroically saving the resistance. You
Yeah.
know? Like he could have like caved in the cave on top of himself,
And then that's where he gets stabbed.
and that's where he gets stabbed or whatever,
I would have liked if they had done kind of like Obi-Wan, where like
where he disappears.
yeah, like he allows himself to be
Right.
destroyed. He's like,
Yeah.
because I will be more powerful and more helpful to them this way as a Force ghost.
Yeah. Like if he said, like Kylo, I want you to forgive me, because I've already forgiven you and forgiven myself, or something,
Yeah.
Something like that, and then lets himself be struck down, and that's like the final straw in Kylo, like realizing like he's gone too far.
Yeah.
Not only has he killed his dad, almost killed his mom, though he pulls off the trigger when
Yeah.
he's about to do that. But now he's killed his master, and maybe that's like one straw too big that finally breaks the
Or if he didn't, he realized he didn't get the satisfaction that he thought he would.
Right.
And it's what leads him back towards the other side.
right, exactly. Between and killing Snoke too.
Yeah.
There's just, I think there was way more opportunity for good character development, and I really wanted them to showcase Luke's powers in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, they did. He force projects himself halfway across the galaxy or whatever. And Kylo does set that up in earlier when he's talking to Rey and seeing her. He's like, "You're not doing this. The Force would kill you." So he actually sets that up earlier in the movie, which I missed the first time through. But I think it would have been cool. I didn't mind that one as much as a lot of people hated that one.
It also and the next one, like, it didn't really make sense what Snoke was about. Like, no one got any satisfaction about his.
Yeah, Snoke was a fucking waste of time, but we'll do that when we fix the Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. What problems did you have with Rise of The Last Jedi, and how would you fix them? And if you like this, this kind of show topic, let us know, and we will do some more movies. Popular ones I'm thinking of are Miss Marvel, or not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Because I think a lot of people kind of hated on that movie, and I think it was fine. But
I
have thoughts on how they could have really nailed it. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people were beefing with the actress.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, because
Yeah. Here's how you fix it: you get rid of Brie Larson. Just kidding. I like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
but maybe she wasn't the right choice for that role.
I did see an interview with Chris Hemsworth, Don Cheadle, and her, and like you can kind of tell, like, oh, they don't like her.
Yeah.
like I'll show it. I'll send you a link of it, but
I think well, we'll leave that for a separate episode. But I think that would be a good one. I think we got to talk Rise of Skywalker at the end of the Rey saga for Star Wars. And then like I don't know. There's some other ones out there. What are some of the other movies ideas you had?
I had a bunch of movies that flopped. But one of the ones I think you might like, it would be Green Lantern, but I don't know if you can
Green
stomach
Lantern.
watching it again.
That's a tough one because you just have to rewrite that whole fucking movie.
Yeah, that's
But
Fantastic Four. Same
yeah,
thing.
Fantastic Four. Like maybe the new Fantastic Four would be the newest one.
Yeah,
I should say.
you burn it
Burn it to the
and
ground.
then leave it alone.
Let us know on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter what are some movies that you want us to fix. And when thinking about Last Jedi, what were some of the things that we got right? What were some other improvements you'd like to make? we'd love to hear from you guys, because I think it's a fun topic for an episode. You know what I mean? Because we all, I think, collectively have better ideas than most movie studios.
They just don't listen to us.
They don't fucking listen. But yeah, you can send all those responses either through all the social medias or through nerdswithfriendspodcast.com. That has either a contact page on there or our email.
A future good one. Or I just thought the Snyder Cut.
Ooh, the Snyder Cut, yeah. Yeah, I rewatched the Justice League in preparation.
I need to rewatch it, and then I got to get ready for 4.5 hours of...
Yeah, so we'll see if Snyder did it. In fact, that's why I came up with this idea, because I had a future idea. This was the test drive for that. But let us know your suggestions, and check out patreon.com/nerdswithfriends, where you can help support the show. We really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our patrons who are currently signed up. We appreciate you.
Gracias.
Christian, thank you for coming every week to the show.
Nice. Thanks for doing the bare minimum.
Thanks for showing up. And to all the nerds out there, remember, you're not alone. You're with friends. This is Nerds with Friends. Thank you, and good night.